All right, all right. I get it. I get it. I picked Chito Vera to knock out Sean O'Malley in the fourth round, and Chito Vera gets absolutely destroyed. Sean O'Malley with the best performance he has ever had, in my opinion, in the UFC. And we're going to talk about the entire cards and highlight some of the more important matches. But let's get started with the main event. Of course, I'm the butt of the joke this time. And yeah, really bad pick by me. It was more of an intuition pick, right? I was never taking away Sean O'Malley's skills at all in this matchup. I just figured the way Chito fights and the unknown gas tank of Sean O'Malley could be a problem for Sean O'Malley. And ultimately, I was wrong. I get it. I was wrong. Was it the worst pick in the world? I don't think so. I had high hopes for Chito Vera to go out there and have a chance to knock him out, but he never did. What Sean O'Malley did so perfectly on Saturday night was his volume and his defense. I think obviously we saw the output he had. The output for 5 rounds was nuts. I didn't think he had the cardio to do it. And that was the biggest question mark I had for Sean O'Malley is, can he go 5 rounds hard? And now he proved it. And now the Merab matchup looks a lot different. A lot different. And I don't know who I'm going to go with that one. But you can't deny that Sean O'Malley probably isn't a top 3 striker right now. He's got to be, right? The performance he just had against Chito Vera, and we'll talk about Chito Vera and what's next for him a little bit later, but let's talk about the champion. 5 rounds of perfection, no threat of being dangered at all, which impresses me so much. I think they knew Sean O'Malley was going to win, and deep down I probably thought that too. But I wanted to be a little different, of course, right? I'm not going to pick chalk every time, guys. You know that. I'm not a guy to do that, but I didn't think he'd look this good. Now, with his future matchups against Topuria, Merab, Sandhagen, it'd be hard not to pick against the guy, right? Because his striking looks so good. Even with no threat of the takedown from Chito, which could become a problem if he fights Ilia Topuria or Merab Dvalishvili, he looked focused and locked in for 5 rounds. And that was something that, he always talks about the mental aspect of the game. And he's looked really, really good throughout all of his performances. So I wasn't going to take that away. The only thing was the mental edge and the mental, battle that he had with Chito Vera. He obviously just was not fazed by anything that Chito Vera had throwing back at him, and was just catching him left and right with every combination. That knee, I think it was in the 2nd or 3rd round, that cracked Chito Vera with it sounded like a fucking baseball bat hit Chito Vera's head. I cannot believe he didn't get knocked out of that. He's probably got the best chin in the UFC by far. Nuts. I don't know how he didn't get knocked out. And that was another thing. So let's get to Chito a little bit. The reason why I gave Chito Vera the nod in this matchup was the durability and the chance of him turning it up with better cardio. But obviously the cardio just wasn't there because of Sean O'Malley's strikes that landed throughout the fight, right? He was hitting him to the body, hitting him to the head, damaging him, and ultimately just came out with the most dominant victory I've ever seen. Chito Vera, I think the main issue in this was not only was he less superior than Sean O'Malley on the feet, he looked slow, and his boxing was really weak in this. Really, really weak. You take a look back, slow-mo, some of those, shots that he did when he was trying to pressure Sean O'Malley, it didn't look like real combinations. And I knew his boxing wasn't the greatest, but I figured he would just throw caution to the wind and go in there and fucking try to take his head off. But Sean O'Malley did a lot to avoid the strikes from Chito Vera, and flawless performance. Flawless performance. I think this is, Sean O'Malley's best performance to date. Chito Vera, I'd like to see him fight Petr Yan. If not Petr Yan, I don't know. Maybe Umar, right? Umar's trying to get into the top 5. Fuck Sandhagen fighting Umar Nurmagomedov. Get that matchup out of here. He already missed a chance. Give him Chito. And for Sugar Sean, right? Sugar Sean, Merab. But I also want to see Ilia. I think he can meet Merab. So I'm gonna go Merab. I think he has a chance to beat Merab. So let's go Merab for that one. Really impressed by Shigashan. Let's talk about the co-main event here. Benoit Saint Denis versus Dustin Poirier. Again, I was wrong. But a lot of people were picking Benoit to win this fight, and I was one of them. I thought the pressure, the cardio, the durability, everything, the grappling was all going to be in favor of Benoit. And the only reason why I was a little hesitant on Benoit was the striking for 5 rounds against Dustin Poirier. Because as much as you want to say, right, leading up to this, Dustin Poirier had gotten knocked out. His chin was starting to deteriorate just a little bit, and Benoit showed one of the best chins in UFC history. So I figured, sometimes the accuracy and the better boxing may not always win it. It's sometimes just up to chin and up to power sometimes. But Dustin Poirier, oh my God, I'm glad he won. I'm a big fan of Dustin Poirier. Impressive win. Really impressive. A lot of people are talking about the staph infection, the antibiotics that Benoit Saint Denis was on this week, and maybe why his cardio and other things like that didn't look so good. You could chalk that up to staph. You could chalk it up to maybe it just wasn't a good performance. Maybe Dustin was always supposed to be Benoit. For me, who picked Benoit, maybe I'm on the fence of, maybe he did have staph and maybe those antibiotics really, really hurt him. But you can't take away from Dustin Poirier's willingness to take this fight and his boxing. Oh my God, his boxing was crisp. I've never seen Benoit get chin like that. He's always had one of the best chins in the UFC. Durable, but man, Dustin fucking knocked his head off clean. And yeah, Dustin Poirier was throwing up a lot of guillotines, and he lost that first round because he kept going for guillotines, and they weren't happening. And once he got done with that last guillotine and started boxing, he's like, you know what, fuck this. I'm not going to try to pull this guillotine all the way to the ground so Benoit can get control of me, the bigger, better grappler. He said, fuck that. I'm going to box with this guy. And what happened? He caught him right on the chin with that right hook and knocked him out. And I was really surprised. I think that was one of the more surprising moments on this entire card, just because of the pure violence in that shot and the way it just snapped Benoit's head back. I don't know if Benoit is going to be the same after that, right? You take a big lick like that, who knows with the chin? He is still 27. He's still getting better. Chalk it up to staph, whatever, him being pushed too early. I don't think he was pushed too early. I think his performances showed, and he won that first round. And who would have knows if he didn't have that staph or whatever, right? But what a great win by Dustin Poirier. I got that pick wrong too, of course. Why not? But a pick I did get right, MVP versus Kevin Holland. It was a bad stylistic matchup for Kevin Holland. Remember, in the Wonderboy fight, he really struggled with the karate style of Wonderboy. And MVP's the same way, but I think he's faster. He is faster than Wonderboy. Wonderboy may be more technical and can hit you with different shots, but MVP's fast, and he is powerful, and he kind of dominated him throughout that fight, and I'm glad I got that one right. I kind of figured off the karate style and them being similar statures where Kevin Holland can't really have a superior advantage in the length and the reach. So MVP gets that one done. A lot of, bull rush, blitzing right hands over the top. Caught Kevin Holland off guard, and he just fought a beautiful fight. Wasn't really in much danger for many of the fight, so great win by MVP. Of course, who's next for MVP? It's got to be Wonderboy. And I know that they're not going to fight, but that'd just be a great fight. They're both stylistically the same fighters. They're both excellent at what they do. I want to see that. But I fear we're not going to get it. So MVP, what does he do next? I feel MVP should take on Ian Gary. I think he should, dude. I think that would be a great fight. It'd be a great, standard test. Where are these guys at in the division? Because Ian Gary has proven time and time again that he is very talented. MVP just took out Kevin Holland, who Kevin Holland is overrated, and I've stated that before, but nonetheless, MVP made it look easy. So Can two strikers with a similar height but MVP having the reach advantage play into MVP's favor, or is Ian Gary just more superior than MVP? I don't know, but they probably won't do that fight, but fuck it. Who are they going to give MVP? I don't know. You tell me. Another one I got right was Jack Della Maddalena and Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns was winning that fight. I thought he was going to get it done. But JDM with that clean knee, sitting down Gilbert Burns, sad moment. Sad moment. I love Gilbert Burns, but nonetheless, JDM, he's so close to being so good, and yet far away from where I think he can become champion. Because I think he's super talented on the feet, and it kind of feels like he's always in control on the feet. But once it gets to the ground, and once someone has a threat of the takedown against JDM, he just doesn't look that impressive. And I think he's been given a lot of hard stylistic matches and a lot of, hard fucking opponents and circumstances behind his fights. But nonetheless, he showed out every single time. Basil Hafez, 2 weight cuts in 2 weeks, still popped him in the fucking face. I don't give a shit. Basil Hafez did not win that fight. Kevin Holland, long-range guy, took care of him. Gilbert Burns, grappler, high-ranked veteran, gets done with him. And you know what? Who should he fight next? JDM. Shavkat Rakhmonov. Because in my hot takes video of 2024, I said they would fight each other for the interim belt. Fuck it, Dana. Just make it for the interim belt. Make it for the interim belt. I want to see it. They probably won't do it for the interim belt, probably for number 1 contenders, but nonetheless, that's who he should fight next. Gilbert Burns, please retire. I'm begging you, please retire. You're not going to get into the top, 5 anymore. You're 37, coming off of major surgery, and now a KO loss. Just don't do it. Just hang it up. Hang it up, please. Don't want to see it. Let's go on to the main card opener of Petr Yan and Song Yadong, my favorite matchup coming into this. I should have just picked Petr Yan to fucking win. Of course, right, he was more superior in the boxing, but I just thought Song Yadong would level up and show that, you know what, just because Petr Yan was this good doesn't mean he's always going to be that good. But Petr Yan, yet again, losing the first round to Song Yadong, winning round 2, I'm like, oh my God. If Song Yadong wins this round and wins by split decision, I would have called it perfectly, but Yan dominates the last 2 rounds. Dominates Song Yadong. Showed levels, and this is a learning experience yet again for Song Yadong because he's had a lot of them in his career. He's just not quite top 5, top 4 caliber yet. I think he's getting there. He just fought another stand-up guy who's more superior, and I should have taken that into consideration. I just doubted Petr Yan's mental state, and I'm so sorry because that was probably not the right pick. A lot of these weren't the right pick. You live and you learn, really. I was getting chirped in the comments. Fuck it. Right? Fuck it. Some other notable fights on the card. Jilton Almeida dominates Curtis Blades in the first round, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be an easy UD win. Unanimous decision, that is. But Curtis Blades, all right. Curtis Blades catches him with that sneaky uppercut up the middle, sits him down, hammer fist to the head. That's all she wrote. Great win by Curtis Blades, taking out a grappler who was superior. He was superior in the grappling, and then when it came to the wrestling too. So I love to see that from Curtis Blades. And, who do you give Curtis Blades, right? He's fought a lot of the guys in the top 5, 10-ish area. I would say Cyril Gane, but I want him to fight Pavlovich. Could you do Tom Aspinall and Curtis Blades for the interim belt? I mean, we never got to see the full fight, right? We just saw 15 seconds of it. Aspinall gets injured, and that's the whole fight. So maybe you do that match again. Name any top 5 guy, give him to Curtis Blades, except Pavlovich, of course, because he fought him already. So I want to see him fight Cyril Gane, Tom Aspinall, one of those two. It'd be perfect. Let's go through some of the other prelim fights. Gamrot beating RDA by decision. Got that one right. The grappling just overtook RDA and just completely ragdolled them. Looked like the younger, fresher, more superior grappler in that matchup. Great to get that one right. Another one I was really, really happy to see get right was Kyler Phillips beating Pedro Munoz. I had stated that the spinning attacks for Kyler Phillips would be a problem for Pedro Munoz. It seemed to be maybe not the whole reason he lost, but a part of it. And also the speed of Kyler Phillips, just being able to move away from Pedro Munoz. And a lot of people were hyping up Pedro Munoz's kicking game, saying that, if he wins a kicking game, he'll win this fight. And he just didn't. Kyler Phillips was just staying patient, avoiding a lot of the shots from Pedro Munoz, landing his own. He looked really good. I am very impressed by him. Kyler Phillips, I want to see him fight maybe like Chris Gutierrez next. That would be a fun fight. But he already fought someone in the rankings like 13. Gutierrez like 15, maybe not even ranked anymore. But that'd be a great matchup. Two, dynamic strikers going at each other. I'd probably favor Gutierrez in that matchup, maybe, honestly. He's a tricky guy. He's a tricky guy. Kudalaba and Lins. Fuck Kudalaba. I'm never picking that fucker again. I'm never doing it. Michelle Pereira. Jesus. Came out there like a bat out of hell and submitted Olin Jachuk in the first round. I got that one wrong. But it's like that's what you're going to get with Pereira, right? You're either going to get a finish in the first round or he's probably going to lose a decision. And just didn't happen for me. So, got that one wrong. One that I did get right was Robelis Despain knocking out Josh Parisian in 18 seconds. I mean, I went to the bathroom doing that. I didn't even get to see that. I was in the bathroom like, all right. And it took a little longer than it should have, all right? So, that's maybe my fault, but I rewatched it, of course. I could not believe he knocked him out, just like falling back, doing the Israel Adesanya winging counter hooks off his back, shit like that. Worked. It works. Despain is a fucking monster. I want to see that guy get some real heavyweight prospects. I don't know who they give him, but give him someone good. I want to see how good he really is and how far he can go in the heavyweight division because he's pretty old. Just find someone. Find fucking anyone. Another one, Asu Almabayev, CJ Vergara. Asu Almabayev, I got that one right. And yeah, dominated with the grappling, of course, like he was always supposed to. And his striking looked decent against Vergara. Vergara is not the best striker, not the best grappler. Just kind of one of those middle-of-the-pack guys in the flyweight division. So happy to get that one right, too. We went 7-6 on this card. And I know I got the main event wrong again. Okay? I get it. If you're always trying to hit singles, you ain't getting the big contracts, right? You got to hit the fucking home runs. And I'm trying to hit a home fucking run. Okay? That's all I know how to do, all right? If you like this video, like and subscribe. I love you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. Till next time. Peace.